Welcome to the Next Week Podcast, episode
38.
I'm your host, Aidan.
I'm your co-host, Mary.
And as usual, we'll be on here for an hour. We'll be on Patreon for an extra half hour. The theme of the day is... Wow, I was going to say drumroll, and I thought I'd just give you a second to see if you'd do it, and you did. Discussing all of our phobias.
For
our list
Patreon.
of fears. For our Patreon, yeah.
You just said theme of the general. Okay.
Oh, did I not say Patreon
I don't
theme?
think you did.
I think I did. We'll check the tape.
Yeah. But yeah, discussing our fears, our phobias.
I guess I'll still do the usual spiel. I guess it's not a new YouTube channel anymore, but the videos for this are posted on @NextWeekCast on YouTube, like the full episodes. So if you're just an audio listener and you want to check out what we're looking like while doing this, you can go on there.
It's gorgeous. It might be worth it.
Might be. No promises though. And also, as usual, the YouTube videos for the main Next Week News channel are posted on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central. And the videos come out pretty much every day in the evening at some point on TikTok and Instagram at Next Week News. And all this is linked at nextweeknews.com.
Oh, yeah.
No tweets from Mary this week, which is interesting.
No.
Like, it wasn't even, like, usually we discuss it beforehand, and she's like, oh, I have some. And this week it's just like, no, nothing.
Yeah.
Haven't been on Twitter.
I've been on there. I just haven't. Nothing inspired.
I guess it's a weird week for, like, funny things.
Yeah, it's all too real.
It's all too real this week. I have some funny ones that I saw. It's not really even, like, usually the theme of this is, like, tweets that are, could have been Next Week News, like Next Week News style tweets. Not that we own the style, but they kind of fit the vibe of it. But these are kind of just tweets that I thought were funny. And they're all very quick. So I'll just go through them one by one. Just, we turn this segment into just me reading funny tweets that I saw. The first one's from @Gabrouch's Music. And the tweet is, "And lead us not into Penn Station." I just thought that was funny. I thought that was a very funny one.
Do you think it's Penn Station, the sandwich shop?
I think it's Penn Station, the train station.
I think it's funnier if it's the sandwich shop. But it does make sense. Like, you should want to be led into Penn Station, the sandwich shop,
No.
but maybe not the...
Should be your own choice.
Yeah.
Where is Penn Station's sandwich shop? I've never heard of
It's
that.
everywhere.
Is it really?
Well, maybe not everywhere. You haven't
Clearly
heard of that?
not.
I haven't heard of the train stations. I've only heard of the sandwich shop.
It's in New York City. I think, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it has kind of a reputation for being like not a great train station.
Penn Station's the sandwich place.
I think it's under Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Well, you got to get to a Penn Station sandwich shop. They're delish.
What do they have?
I'm going to lead you right into it's sandwiches. It's like a Firehouse Subs, or it's like a better like Subway.
Oh, I feel like there are a lot of better Subways that exist.
Yeah, and Penn Station is one of them. Okay, next tweet.
I gotta find out where these Penn Stations are.
There's got to be one in the area.
I'm not moving on until we figure this out. This is something that I think I should have heard of.
No, they're not nearby.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of nearby, but it's not.
Like
accessible.
Outside of the city.
Like 20 miles away, yeah.
That's so far. For
oh yeah,
where
but
we
there's
do.
one near where, yeah, makes sense.
So is it Indiana? Is it an Indiana chain?
There's one there. Well, that one nearby that I see, and then there's an Illinois one.
So it's like two locations.
No, well, search here. Oh no, they're all okay. It's Michigan, Indiana, Northeast Illinois kind of vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but not in the city of Chicago.
Correct.
So that is why I've never heard of it.
Okay.
Moving on. Next tweet is from @CameronBradford. "Hey man, your fly is down. Let me get that for you."
I think I saw that one.
I like that
Funny.
one. That's a funny one. No further comment other than just funny one. And the last one is from @VaneRichard. "A halt is one of the few things you can screech to."
Ah, you screech to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
Also funny.
That's one of those ones where it's like that feels like something that I could have tweeted if I had thought of it first. I didn't.
But you could have if you
But I
thought
could
of
have.
it first.
I could have done that. No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
But it's my kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of tweet that I see, and I'm like, I like that one.
You didn't tweet. My bevy of the week is root beer.
Root beer.
And we got our voting stickers.
Oh yeah,
on.
we do have our voting stickers.
If you're on audio, you can't see, but we have our I voted stickers.
I have such or I had such a great sequence of events exiting the voting thing
Tell us about it.
where so there's no line, so it's convenient. Did my voting, and then I left, and across from my polling station is this excellent hot dog store. I guess I could just say what it is. Red Hot Ranch.
Hot dog store.
Hot dog store. That's what it is.
Go to the hot dog store.
It's Red Hot Ranch.
They
It's got a big hot
burgers.
dog on the sign. Chicagoans and maybe some non-Chicagoans know Red Hot Ranch, goated.
Mm-hmm.
One of the couple that's like way up there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cash only though. So it's this kind of like old-fashioned type of hot dog stand, only cash. So and I didn't really plan this in advance when I was going to vote. I guess I kind of did, but then I was like, yeah, that's a inconvenience. That it's cash only. So I didn't. I just kind of went to go vote. And leaving there, I had my sticker, and I had this sweatshirt on, and I was putting my sticker in the sweatshirt pocket, and I feel cash in there. I had $20. I found $20 in my pocket as I was leaving with my sticker. Found $20, got hot dogs. So
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. If you find $20 on you when you're passing the hot dog stand, I kind of joked about going there before I left. It's like, hey, I can get hot dogs. But then I didn't bring cash with me. Then I found cash. So we got hot dogs. We did get hot dogs.
Yeah, nothing more American than hot dogs and voting.
Hot dogs, voting. What else was American? We were just
Root beer.
discussing. Oh, root beer.
Do they have root beer elsewhere? I don't know.
Is A&W like a Canadian chain?
I don't know.
I think I just made that up. I probably
I think
did.
you did too.
Seems like it should be Canadian.
It's produced under the authority of Dr. Pepper 7-Up Inc.
So it's owned by one of the big brands.
Yeah. Well,
I associate root beer with Canada. That's probably wrong. Might just be a me thing. You're giving me a look that I'm very wrong, and I'm not going to fight it.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but it doesn't sound right.
Where was it invented? Well, I believe that's all of the...
No, it's American.
Is it American?
Well,
Yeah.
A&W is a...
That doesn't surprise me all that
American.
much. Probably just a false association from me.
Yep.
We'll move on to our segments that you're here for. We'll get past our intro. We have the new one, which is advice from next week. So you have us, you send us some stuff that you have going on, and we'll give you our advice from the future about what to do. And this should be all taken word for word as fact.
Wait.
Mary's still researching over there.
Well, I was looking up the A&W brand, and it said it was someone partnered with Frank Wright, and I was like, Frank Wright, the architect, Frank Lloyd Wright. It was not. It was a different Frank Wright. I just needed to make sure.
A 2-name guy, not a 3-name guy.
Yeah, because I was like, that'd be crazy.
A 2-name Frank Wright.
And I mean, you do need an architect to make such a brilliant brand, but okay, sorry. So moving on to the advice segment.
For a long time, to go on another side tangent, for a long time I didn't know that A&W had physical locations until I drove out to the Midwest, and then I drive by one, and it felt surreal. Like, it looked like it had the same feeling as if I were to like drive past a big store that just said Sprite.
That would be crazy.
Like, that's what it felt like.
Huh.
Because I was like, A&W, that's just root beer.
I grew up with an A&W.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of stuff.
KFC A&W combo.
Ooh, I've still never been to an A&W.
There's the one, we're gonna go to it.
Next time we're driving through the cornfields and we happen upon one.
That's where they sprout.
That's where they grow. That's where they
Yeah.
naturally occur.
Yeah.
All right. Advice from next week. We have a couple of them.
Will car companies finally start making cool looking cars again next week? I've been waiting since the 70s.
I wish. That'd be nice.
No, they're only gonna keep making stupid looking cars.
Yeah, they only make really dumb ones that are like angular
Mm-hmm.
or like way too round.
Mm-hmm.
Like they look too sleek. We're going for too much sleekness.
Yeah. Too angular, too round.
Give me a little box to putter around in.
They have those.
I mean, they don't have them like they used to, though.
Okay, yeah. Those are pretty old ones. I need a little one that's got kind of just like a rounded top. It almost kind of looks like an insect, kind of.
Like a... Maybe like a...
A little dome.
Not an ant. No, a little dome, like a...
Some kind of little bug. I don't know.
Like a ladybug?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like a ladybug with like kind of two little... Like, you got the hood and you got a little bit of trunk. I need one of those. I think that would be really cool looking. I think that's probably what this person's kind of looking for.
You should get a lime green one and like a convertible one.
Oh, that'd be cool. A lime green and a convertible, like two separate ones. Okay.
I still have this memory in my mind from like last year of when I was crossing a street here, and within like 4 or 5 seconds of each other, like almost got hit by a lime green bug. And like as I dodged that, a kid comes flying by on a bike, blasting Drake. It almost hits me. I was like, that would have been the most surreal way to go out. Like, if I got hit by a lime green bug, that's one thing. Or to have like some sort of serious injury. Like, I got hit by a bug. Or to have dodged a bug and gotten hit by a kid blasting Drake on a bike.
That would be funny.
It was like, they were kind of like, I don't even know how that worked. Because the bug was going one way and the
Bikes just
bike must have been going the other.
Yeah.
So like I dodged the bug. Like it had a stop sign, so it just like or a red light like went a little bit through it. So I was like, whoa! And then like there's a little gap where I was safe, so I had to like jump into the gap and then stop before the kid on the bike went flying by.
What are those cars called again? Like actually, I forgot.
Volkswagen Beetles.
Oh, Beetles.
Bugs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I only ever call them slug bugs. I don't know. When you say bug, I'm like, you got hit by a bug.
Mary only knows it by the violence.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, you got to look it up.
I think people should know.
Beetle. Volkswagen Beetle. They really are called Beetles?
One of them is the actual name, and one of them is what people call them, and I'm not sure which one is which.
Yeah. It's Volkswagen Beetle.
Beetle, so people just call them the bugs.
Yeah, slug bug. It was banned. It was it was cheap, too expensive. I'm just looking up everything right now.
Banned for being too cool.
Oh, yeah.
I want a PT Cruiser.
Okay.
I thought you'd have a stronger opinion on that. I don't actually want one. I just kind of said that to see how you'd react. And that was about as disappointing as it could possibly be. But I guess...
Oh, God, no. Those are one of my least favorite looking cars.
Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
I didn't know what that was. Oh,
I used to like PT Cruisers. We had like RC cars that were PT Cruisers.
Why are you saying all these letters?
That's what they are.
What is an RC
It's a Chrysler.
car?
Remote control.
A Chrysler?
A Chrysler, yeah.
Oh,
remote control.
Remote control car.
RC.
Do people... Okay, let's go to the next one.
No, I still... That's a car. Is that from the 70s? I think it's roughly from the 70s.
A PT Cruiser?
Yeah.
They make me want to throw up. Sorry to anyone who has those or likes those.
I like them. They were like big RC cars too. They were like about yay big. More than width of screen for a video view.
RC car is making me really mad.
Remote control.
I get that. Then say remote control or toy car.
The name of the car from Toy Story is RC. It's a common thing. You don't like the acronyms?
I don't like when it's an acronym. Apparently it's a thing that I don't know about. You seem like you're just acting like it's a thing, and it's not a thing. But I believe you that it's a thing that I just don't know about. But it's making me mad. I think we should move on.
Okay. Did we enjoy Ummagumma? Full disclosure, I wouldn't lie to you. I haven't listened to it yet. The album from Pink Floyd.
Oh.
The one that was discussed.
I knew I recognized that. I was like, we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't listen to it.
If you resubmit this next week, it'll either be really funny if I still hadn't listened to it after promising twice, or I will have listened to it and I'll make a note to go back to this next week.
Okay.
I'll listen to Ummagumma in the meantime.
I'll listen to a couple, I guess.
I don't think it's one of those albums that you can just listen to a couple. Just bop in and out.
Oh yeah, because it was pretty complex.
Uh-huh. I'll have to check it out. Because I like Pink Floyd. I'm a fan. But apparently, or clearly, not a big enough fan. We're looking for some advice, or someone's looking for some advice on whether or not bagels will have any higher or lower chance as being a breakfast option.
Higher.
Oh, higher for sure.
Way higher.
Bagels, I mean, there's something that kind of ebbs and flows a little bit. Like I don't think they really should. I think bagels should be consistent, but I find that they enter and exit my life.
Oh yeah.
At a fairly like predictable rate. Like you have a lot of bagels and you don't have a lot of bagels and you have a lot of bagels.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you kind of need that gap in between the bagels that makes you appreciate the bagels a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of forget how good the bagels are and then you come back to them and you're like, whoa, that's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think that's necessary per se.
Uh-huh. But I think we're entering bagel territory right now.
A plus bagel territory for sure.
Mm-hmm. Bagels are in the green.
Deep in the green.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
Yeah. Love a good bagel.
Had a good bagel last week. That was a good bagel. For us in particular, bagels are kind of back in a slightly increased way.
Why?
The new store reopened by you. They have
Mine
good bagel
was on
sandwiches.
A croissant.
Oh, that was a croissant. They only had them on croissants.
Yeah, you didn't.
They
have
used
a
to have them
bagel.
on bagels.
You
Oh,
liar.
wow, I lied. Still though, bagels, I think they could be back. Croissants, I mean, are an alternative. I think they're a good alternative.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to disparage bagels. Croissants are just also good.
Yeah.
Important to note that.
Yeah. Well, I can go ahead and do the next two since.
Oh,
you did
yeah,
two
I've just
in a
been
row.
cruising through them on my own.
Just forgot about me here.
Yep.
So they're looking for some advice. Am I going to get attacked by that pigeon on your story? I feel neutral about it. I'm just wondering.
No, that pigeon is super chill. Did you see it?
Was it the one asking for the submissions?
Yeah.
I did.
That pigeon in particular is like the chillest among them.
Okay.
Did you see? I mean, how could it not be? It kind of just stances there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like looking like it's got like that wide, powerful stance.
Yeah. I feel like most pigeons usually end up being like rather chill, but I can see how that one's maybe more
I don't
chill.
know. A lot of them are pretty.
Maybe your presence riles
number
them
one,
up.
skittish, and number two, and it's no fault of their own. They just don't really have the concept of personal space.
Yeah.
Like many birds don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they miss you by an inch, in their mind, they still didn't crash into you. They missed you.
Yeah.
But for you, it's like, whoa, that bird almost hit me. To them, they know what they're doing. Unless you get flapped by a pigeon, I think that can happen.
You get hit by one?
Mm-hmm.
Just by a
Smacked by a bird.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad this person wasn't like too scared about it. They were just kind of neutral.
It's a good stance to have. That's a good, cautious.
Yeah.
Well, pigeons in general next week were being like a. It's a neutral stance as per usual, but it's a positive neutral. Maybe a lawful neutral. If we're on that chart, they're gonna behave.
Good to know. And
I'll let you do the last one.
Will there be worms?
There will be worms.
Oh no, where?
It's tough to really articulate how the worms are going to come about.
Not inside of you. That was my concern. There will be worms, not inside of you.
No promises.
Okay.
That's a broad stroke to paint. You never know. Someone could have worms and, and come back to us next week and be like, "Hey,
I need to add that to my list
known
of
about
fears."
that. Fears having worms.
We'll circle back to this during the Patreon episode.
I don't want to have worms.
Me neither.
I hope I don't have. I hope I don't have worms next week.
No, but there will be worms.
There will be worms.
Hopefully, they're just the little earthworms outside, though.
Mm. I think they're also kind of in a lawful neutral type of scenario.
Yeah.
Like they exist where they belong, and we're fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I recently, well, somewhat-ish recently, in the last few months, I learned that I thought that worms just came out when it rained because they liked
Oh,
the
you were pretty
rain.
distraught by that.
Yeah, and I thought they were just like, oh, rain, wet, let's go
Party.
be in the rain. But apparently he said they get like drowned out of the water and then they're on the sidewalk. And then, I mean, obviously I knew they like died. So I was like, why are they all coming out? I think they're going to get squashed or dry up. They don't make it back in time. That's what I thought. But apparently it's not kind of, purposeful.
No, they need to breathe air. Water in their holes doesn't help with that.
Yeah. So, sorry, worms.
There will be worms, though. That's all the advice we have from next week. Hopefully that helps you in one way or another. I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
Just yes.
Advice is always
And now
good.
we'll move on to
Your regularly scheduled segment.
the story. Well, the advice is now a regularly scheduled segment.
I know.
Our classic regularly scheduled segment.
When I thought about saying that, I was wondering if you were going to say something. Because I was like, well, the other one's all also regularly scheduled. But I couldn't think of anything else funny to say for a transition. So I still said it. Now you called me out on it. Okay.
Yeah, don't do it again. Don't ever
Moving
try.
on to-
Don't ever try anything that's not pre-vetted on here. We can't be having that.
Moving on to our next segment.
It's a joke, and it's a funny joke.
On Wednesday next... Silence in the classroom, please. On Wednesday next week, Earth will receive a message from what may be some form of intelligent life from a distant part of the galaxy. After a few days of deliberations, linguists will all agree that the message translates to, "What's up, girl? Want to head on over to my place?" It will take quite a while before we all know what to do with this information. And that is from Tagi Haragi on Instagram.
Two thoughts have entered my mind here.
Uh-huh.
Number one is this could be fully intentional.
Yeah.
Like they kind of just dig the vibe of our planet. They spotted our planet from across the galaxy and sent us over a note.
That's possible.
So maybe we just have good vibes. I mean, tough to say internally if that's the case, but maybe from the outside it looks nice. Maybe the external perspective of Earth is like, let's head on over.
Super chill like that pigeon.
Yeah. Number two, like a text message that got lost. Because there's that new satellite texting feature. So maybe someone accidentally missed a satellite and it got shot out really far into space, but then got bounced back off of like a moon or something.
Yeah. And so it looked like it was coming from a distant part of the galaxy, but really it was just like Chad down the street.
It got like broken and like shattered a little bit, bounced off the moon maybe the wrong way. Maybe it hit like a rock or a frog or something, and it came back all just messed up.
That is pretty likely.
That could be the case.
Yeah. I could see that. It's crazy that linguists were able to translate it.
I mean, that's kind of a universal language that speaks for itself. Like the "What's up, girl? Want to head over to my place?" I feel like picking up on the context of that could be fairly easy. Kind of a universal type of thing to say.
Yeah. Maybe you can just kind of like tell based on the vibes of the text.
What are we going to do about this? Are we going to head on over?
Ooh, that's a good point.
What can we do about this?
Well, we can ghost them. We can respond, politely refuse.
I had a feeling that might be the first thing you'd say.
Yeah, you ghost them. You politely refuse, make up an excuse, say yes, and go over, not respond at all, and just go straight over. Tell them.
Say yes and don't go over.
Tell them you're taken. Yeah. Say yes and don't go over. Well, that might make them mad. Yeah.
You know,
we've got to ask their address.
If they really wanted us, instead of sending us just a text, they could shoot us over a moon or something.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's a moon for you.
Yeah. Say, hey, try again next time with a little more effort.
And then it can have a little note on it like, so and so sent this. Enjoy.
Oh yeah.
And then we have some fun new tides.
Like a bouquet of stars.
Yeah. A new constellation, maybe.
New tides. Whoa.
Just really throws off everything.
For love. Woo.
Whoa.
It scared me.
I think that's the first time that's happened on a live mic. Someone's buzzing at my door. I don't know who it is.
really scared me.
Whoa. I'm not going to let them in. Sorry. They can definitely see that we're in here. They have the lights in the window. Well, that happened at a good time. Transition to the next one. All right, next one is super excited for that one thing next week where peanut butter and jam sandwiches receive a texture patch in which eating them doesn't make you feel like you need to swallow incrementally for the rest of the day to get rid of the stick of the peanut butter. They also have a flavor patch which gives them that, whoa, can I have another one taste that only comes from bread so processed it's whiter than... And then I redacted the rest of this. Not going to say what was written at the end of it.
I had seen what it said.
And that one's from Koya_EQ. So I'm someone who, if there were like a national rating system for peanut butter and jelly sandwich, number 1 making and number 2 enjoying, I think I'd be a top ranked person for both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can confidently say I have made and eaten several thousand peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in my lifetime.
God.
And that's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
That doesn't
for
stretch
you.
the truth at all. It's usually somewhere in the range of 2 to 3 per day.
Yes, I would agree that you are someone who enjoys these sandwiches and has had a lot.
Where I was going with that was that the stick of the peanut butter, I think, isn't necessarily it's not something that happens when you have a good PB&J. It might be a side effect of some ratios being thrown off, because the peanut butter should be offset by the stickiness of the peanut butter should be offset by the smoothness, the slipperiness of the jelly
Well, this is jam.
or jam. They kind of do the same thing.
It's different though.
It's different, but they do the same thing. Jam and jelly, fundamentally very different. Cannot be confused. Should not be confused.
Yeah, we already had a conversation about
We did.
this.
Mary's exasperated by it.
I'm not. I'm just. I want to talk to this person and I want to know if certain. I don't know. Like I've never a peanut butter and jam sandwich. Like I know that like when I'm like, oh, peanut butter and jelly, that can mean different things. It can mean different types of peanut butter, different types of jellies, and it can, in my mind, be like, oh, it could also be a jam. But I've never even thought to say peanut butter and jam sandwich. That just doesn't sound right. And I want to know if like it's like a thing in maybe specific areas or with specific families or just people, or that really just people say when it's jam instead of jelly, if they say peanut butter and jam.
It might be British. I took a U off of the word flavor in this submission.
It
Just
does sound
not
like a
not to
British
like
thing.
make it not to correct it, but just so that it wouldn't throw me off when I was going through and reading it with my American brain.
Yeah.
So that might be a thing that the British say. Can we get a fact check on that?
I was just gonna look up this person and see if anything showed up.
You can't submit anything without us deep diving into your whole life on here. That's not true. That's actually not true at all.
Don't scare them.
This might actually be the first time.
Yeah, except the chess people, I looked them up.
Unless you sound really interesting.
And yeah, the what was it, San Francisco chess? Like that place looked so cool. I really want to go visit.
Should go.
Where?
I have been getting into chess recently. I have chess phases.
It might be Canada.
I think
or Wisconsin. I don't know. I just looked up. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just gonna say it's British.
Yeah.
Sounds like something the British would say.
They like the Strokes though.
Can I have a peanut butter and jam? A peanut butter and jam for me, please.
So it's like one, the stickiness of the peanut butter, which you think it would be only happen as the result of like if they mess up the ratio, which this only happens to me like for like a little bit after, but good to know for people who that is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be a problem anymore.
Or maybe not. It's not necessarily the ratio, but you have like at least bites that have too much peanut butter in them. It could be a spreading issue, or it could be a ratio issue.
Yeah, or a lack of drink if you don't have
Or maybe
water.
you just love that peanut butter and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna
Slop it on there.
I'm gonna have a stickiness in my mouth for the rest of the day, but it means I can just eat globs of it.
Yeah. I do think this mostly only happens to me, if I have only peanut butter sandwich. Then it's like
You're
really
like your
in there.
cats.
Yeah, like a dog eating peanut butter. That's what I'm imagining. And so now all of them, all PB&Js, I'll just say PBJ sandwiches, will have that like, whoa, can I have another one taste?
I mean, that one has always been there for me.
Yeah, honestly, me too.
So I can't speak to the newness of it. I mean, maybe if they're even more delicious, then it's, even better.
Yeah,
But can't say that I didn't previously have that,
but
and now
maybe
I'm experiencing that for the first time.
it'll never end.
Maybe just go through my whole loaf of bread, eat like 10 of them.
Yeah. I've had it where like I like start eating, I take my first couple bites, I'm like, oh my god, this is so good, like I'm going to need another one. But I've had it before, I finished the first one and I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I'm so full. And I'm like, how am I so full from one dinky little sandwich? But
PB&Js are meant to be eaten in twos, I think.
okay.
At least for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes threes. Yesterday was a threes day.
Well,
Today was just a Tuesday.
you had two reps, two sandwich reps.
That's my workout. 3 sets of 1 peanut butter and jellies. That's my lunch routine. Today was 2 sets of 1. Today was a rest day. I'm going to go for a max tomorrow.
4?
1 set of the thickest peanut butter and jelly I can handle.
Oh yeah, so you sure up in the weight instead of the density instead of the reps.
Sometimes I get a little carried away and you pick up the sandwich and the weight of the sandwich itself makes the bread flop a little bit. You know what I'm really good at, which I've discussed on here, but could be worth coming back to, is dropping jelly out of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich just directly onto my socks.
Yeah, you have.
I am so good at dropping jelly onto my socks. Like the fact, I mean, that it hits the floor is one thing, but like, I have an impressive ability to get jelly on my socks.
I think the other day you did drop a glob straight onto the carpet that was right next to the hardwood floor.
It was within like millimeters of
yeah, but it hit the carpet. It was like like a cat or a dog who goes and throws up on the carpet instead of, it was like that, like you were intentionally trying to get it on the carpet. But and then also when you dropped a big glob of queso straight on my phone.
Like there have been times when I'm spreading the jelly and like I'll take the knife and I'll reach the end of the bread and then you like lift it up to go to the other side and like the jelly will stick to it, fling off, like have a little arc, like it goes vertical over the edge of the table onto my socks. It's not even necessarily that it drips out of the sandwich. It's maybe I need to work on my dodging skills, but I feel like I dodge into it sometimes.
No, you know what it could be? It could be the jelly magnet that I put in your toes.
Onto every fiber of like
no, in your toes.
Cloth material. It doesn't really hit my bare feet though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Those would be easy to clean.
But it's when you have your sock on, it goes through, and so then it's attracted to your feet, and the socks just happen to be there. So that's my bad.
Get rid of it now.
I can't.
Undo it.
I can't. Sorry.
Just keep an eye out for that from now on.
Mariah Carey has been expected to defrost, but due to the influx of global gases, it looks like she might need some help this year. Grab your tickets now to help unearth Mariah next week to save the holidays. If not, a mysterious second new song will be released called Christmas I Want by, it looks like, Yoda. Didn't know he had a knack for singing. That is from Sleeping Sue.
Those gases, those global gases.
Ugh.
And the lack of ability to defrost anything when their presence is there. That's crazy.
It's tricky.
We got to get rid of those. Where do the global gases come from?
I don't know, the energy it took us to freeze Mariah in the first place. They released during that process.
I'm picturing some evil being with like a freeze cannon. From what's that movie? Is it The Incredibles?
Oh yeah.
The freeze cannon or something like that?
Freeze gun?
Yeah.
With freeze ray? I bet it's freeze ray.
Is it a freeze ray?
I don't know. Where is my super suit?
Exactly.
Where is my
We need
super
tickets
suit.
to help unearth Mariah.
I wonder how much they are.
Any amount necessary.
And what is the ticket to?
I don't know.
Just because it's not like donate money, it's grab your ticket.
I mean, maybe proceeds from the ticket purchases
Yeah,
go to help defrost Mariah Carey.
yeah. And maybe it's a ticket to a concert? I don't know. Well, how do you think Christmas I Want goes? Christmas I Want.
I'm picturing it as just a Yoda-fied version of All I Want for Christmas Is You. I'm not going to try it. I've done enough of that on here. I've learned my lesson about trying to do impressions just like off the top of my head. Doesn't work very well historically.
Yeah, this might be tricky.
Christmas I Want. All I Want for Christmas Is You. There's also, I mean, I feel like you need to kind of take the lead here.
Christmas I
Mostly because you're more
Want.
familiar with Yoda than I am.
All you is all. You all is. I don't know. I'd have to. That'll be a Patreon special edition.
We're going to try to decode this.
We should release a song.
That'd be crazy if we were,
Are we gonna release a Next Week News Christmas album?
Nope.
You heard it here first, folks.
We will not
He
be doing
didn't
that.
say no. There's not a non-zero chance.
You know what's wild? How like every
Well, there is a non-zero chance.
like every person who becomes big on social media like ends up being a good singer.
Yeah.
Like they were a theater kid the whole time.
Yeah.
I can't say that's not me. I will not be releasing music.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like a lot of time, yeah, the people who start posting things or like are usually are in some kind of performance or kind of knew that, so had either got into that because they were a good singer or had done voice lessons to some extent. And so then it's just like, surprise, I can sing too.
It's not to disparage anybody, but it's just like, oh, of
Yeah.
course. Makes sense. You can sing.
Like the Kelsey brothers.
Can they sing?
They're releasing a Christmas album.
I did not know that.
But they're a little different. That they're football players. But yeah, no, they're releasing an album. Or at least I think that's a whole song, yeah.
What are the odds that that's any good at all?
It sounds super good. So
Have you heard
the
any
odds
of
are
it?
high. I've heard clips.
What's like the song that was in the clip?
I don't remember.
Well, maybe now we have to. We're going to be the only people online who haven't released a song.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said maybe we have to. I thought you were saying you really needed to hear it right now, but you were saying maybe we have to release something, yeah. Or maybe I'll just do some next week. Holiday jingles. Holiday jingles bells. Should we go to the next one?
Yeah. Breaking news from next week. You are actually going to be caught sitting on the remote. The TV remote will once again not be found, and you are more than likely going to be asked to stand up to check if it's under you, and this time it will be. That's from Ryan and All. This is unfathomable.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen to me.
Me neither. It happened to my friend the other day. It was embarrassing.
I feel like you and I have kind of we this is one of the things that we both are adamant about. Like neither of us is ever on the remote. Yet there's only so much couch that can be sat on.
Yeah.
So usually for one of us, it's a very not disappointing, but aggravating experience that we end up on the remote and we don't think we deserve to be.
Yeah. I mean, and then it begs the question of like, who planted this remote under me?
Like someone did this to me.
Yeah. If I had known it was there, I never would have sat there. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. But this is how can you even come back from this?
You can't really.
No, there's
It's
no way
kind
to
of just
really
something you have to
redeem.
kind of fume about.
Yeah, and people are gonna remember it forever, for years.
Once on the remote, always on the
You're
remote.
never gonna live this down.
This is terrible. This is one of the worst. This is one of the worst things that can happen to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Man,
I don't want to go to next week. I just want to not be on the remote.
We'll try. Maybe you just have to stand. Never sit down.
I guess that's one way to not sit on it.
But also don't stand on the couch because then you'll just be standing on the remote probably. Yeah, just don't sit. Or just get rid of your remote?
Or maybe you have to get really sneaky about, like, if you find that it's under you, like, know that it's going to be there and be like, I got to sleight of hand this thing out of here right now.
That's a good idea.
Plant it somewhere else. That's a good way to go about this.
Throw it across the room, perhaps?
What? No, never.
Or
say that you found it.
or like slide it under the couch.
What you could do is pocket it and then walk around looking a little bit more.
That's genius. And then you're like, oh, I found it under Tim's bottom.
Who was sitting here. Then you look at the other person. Yeah. Genius.
So we got you covered. We found our way out of this.
There's no honor in planting the remote on somebody else. Mm-hmm. But that's just something you got to do.
It's better than the shame had it be found under you. Yeah, so maybe if there's someone in the room who's like your enemy you really don't like and you want to plant.
They don't even have to previously be your enemy. Like if they're accusing you of sitting on the remote, that's enough. That's grounds for animosity right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Moving on, there is a goblin in your shed. It might give you a bit of a start when you walk in, but it's not really doing anything bad. It's actually pretty helpful, as it seems to have organized the shed and knows exactly where everything is. Bring him a sweater. It's getting cold out there. That is from The Archive in Between.
Finally, a shed goblin.
Yeah, I've been waiting for one of those.
It's one of those things that you can't really like ask for. You can't really like apply for. And it sounds like something that people would want to keep out of their shed, a shed goblin. But they really are helpful once you have them.
Yeah, an organized shed that can't be beat.
And like you gotta know, like it's probably gonna scare you the first time you go out there and you got a shed goblin going on. But
first and second and third time maybe.
Yeah.
Then you get used to it.
It for sure takes a little bit to get it just takes some getting used to. That's really what it is. But once you have a shed goblin, they are really good at what they do.
I mean, yeah, can you imagine? I don't know, walking in there and being like, I mean, they're not like a servant or anything. Like, you gotta, I don't know. But, like, you can be like, hey.
It's all on their own accord.
Yeah. I was like, hey, I was looking for these, like, gloves. Or I was looking for this insect spray. And then they'd be like, oh, that's over here.
And it's all labeled and stuff. They got everything, like, categorized.
Yeah, yeah.
It's wonderful.
But it is getting chilly out there. If you're cold, your goblin is cold. Bring them a sweater.
They never need anything more, though. Like, they're usually slightly less cold than you are. So, like, if it's, like, 55, 60, they're probably fine. But if it gets down to, like, 40, that's sweater weather for a goblin.
Yeah.
They do run a bit colder, I think.
Yeah.
And bring them a label maker. They'll love that.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, anything that you can supply them with to help them out will be welcomed.
Lovely addition to the shed. I gotta get a shed. I gotta get a shed so I can get a goblin for my shed.
I mean, if you get the shed, you should get the shed for shed purposes, not in hopes of getting a shed goblin.
Yeah, because if they know, I might seem too eager and I might not get one.
Like, it's something that really needs to feel organic for them in order for them to show up.
They don't want to seem forced. Okay.
No.
Okay. It's not like a trap or anything. Like my leprechaun trap. That's different.
And sheds do tend over time to... I'm not really sure what it is about a shed. Like, it can be inside and everything like that. Sheds just become outside.
Like, even the inside of the shed?
Like, the inside of the shed becomes like outside.
Oh, yeah. Because there's, like, bugs and stuff.
Yeah. And they help with that, too. They keep it nice and tidy in there. So if you want your shed to remain like inside, making it, habitable for a shed goblin could be a good way to go.
Yeah.
But you do kind of have to do that. You have to start that off on your own.
Yeah. You got to have the shed just as plain shed.
But this is a big one. If you have a shed, once again, try not to be startled. They don't like when you are startled by them. Like they kind of understand to a certain extent that that's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice surprise when, as a goblin, someone's just like, "Oh, you are you, and I accept you for that." They're not like, "Ah."
Yeah, like imagine if everyone reacted to you like that. It'd be sad.
It happens a lot. I don't like it.
You can relate to the goblins.
Mm-hmm. The next one is Pope Francis will black out all of his social media accounts next week. His bio will be changed to DNI. Real ones know what's happening. Sad emoji, upwards fist emoji, cross emoji, broken heart emoji. Nobody knows what's happening or what he means by this. And that one's from Willie Thunderbird. Are you on the Pope's accounts now?
No, I was looking up DNI.
Oh, do not interact.
Oh, that is not on this list of things. It was either Director of National Intelligence, Digital Network Intelligence, do not intubate.
That gives it a whole different meaning. Like Director of National Intelligence, real ones know what's happening. Sounds like there's something going on in the
do not
in
interact.
the U.S. that he knows about.
It's either do not interact or do not intubate.
In this case, I believe it's do not interact.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. Maybe that's why I had to look it up. Okay.
I guess none of us are real ones in this case because I don't know what he means by this.
No one knows what's happening. Maybe he's talking about like Jesus.
Could be.
I imagine Jesus is a real one for him.
That might be something that only the Pope would know about.
Yeah.
And therefore, none of us are real ones, and he knows that. The Pope just knows that none of us are real ones.
Yikes. So like,
or he's just going through it.
Yeah. I hope he's okay.
Can you go as a Pope? Can you go through it? Like, is that something that you can do, or are there like measures in place where it's like?
I don't know, because he's still a person, right?
You know what? I had some thoughts on this fairly recently, where it's like, if you're the Pope, or if you're the President of the United States, like you're like number one out of like you're number one in command out of like billions of people. Like if there's anyone that we can be like, hey, like I understand that you're biologically a person, but like it took a lot to get there. It took a lot of trying to get there, and you can't like be a person now.
Well, I just imagined like yeah, like the president or someone like laying
you're the
there
president.
in bed.
You can't just decide that you're a person all of a sudden.
Yeah. I just imagine them kind of being like me, like laying there being like, oh, I don't want to do the day, or I'm stressed about all this stuff coming up. They can't do that.
You're number one in command.
But...
It's not something that happens upon you.
I need like a Pope like backstage documentary. Like I need cameras to follow him around for a month and like show me everything that goes on, because I'm honestly very intrigued to know what it's like or what he goes through.
Like we don't hear from him, and then there's just like what this when the smoke comes out of the chimney or something. What color would it mean? Like, hey, leave me alone. There's no new Pope, but the Pope is going through it.
I don't know. I mean, he blacked out his social media accounts. Maybe black smoke.
Black smoke. That makes sense. Well, I mean, I do hope he's okay.
Yeah. And we miss him on social media, all his zingers.
Yeah. I mean, one of the most important things for the Pope to do is post.
Yeah.
You got to be a good poster if you're the Pope.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Pope Francis is kind of a poster. Like, he posts.
I see him occasionally.
Have you seen him on there?
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
The Pope can post. I don't think that's something that's necessarily forbidden as the Pope.
I don't think so, no. If he does it, I assume it's not.
Why has everyone just decided that like anybody can post now? Like posting online used to be reserved for, kind of the scoundrels and the mischievous among us. And now anybody can post.
Did you see the thing the one? Well, did you see how he tweeted like the hashtag saints? That's what I saw recently with his tweet about.
Like New Orleans.
Yeah, well, he put the hashtag Saints, and it came up as like I think New Orleans Saints football team was trending, and so it came up with like their little symbol.
I think Twitter does that automatically.
Yeah, so it made it look like he was talking about the football team, and I don't think he was.
I don't think so.
Because he said the Saints are precious pearls, are always living and relevant, provide a fascinating commentary on the gospel, blah blah blah.
That applies.
Sorry,
to the
not to
Saints.
blah 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 what the Pope said.
That applies to the New Orleans Saints too, right?
Their lives are an illustration of the good news that Jesus brought to humanity.
Yeah, Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara.
What about him?
That what was just said.
How does that apply to
The
them?
hashtag Saints.
Yeah.
Like word for word, that applies to Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara. And who else? Who else is on the Saints?
I don't
these
know. Maybe
days?
he was talking about
Chris
them.
Olave.
Maybe he was talking about
He
them.
probably was.
Everyone in the comments is talking about. But all his other ones are about just regular gospel and saints.
I think he took a quick left turn there.
Oh, he did another. Oh, no, the actual one that I saw was the same thing, the hashtag saints with the thing. He did it a second time, at least twice.
If it shows up the first time, maybe don't hashtag that word.
I know. Well, this one was, I saw that, I was like, I knew it wasn't about the football team because it was like, are formed by the Beatitudes, poor, meek, merciful, hungry, and thirsting, blah, 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 blah again. Sorry.
Coming into this episode, I did not think we'd be disparaging Pope Francis.
I'm not disparaging him.
You blah blah blah'd him twice.
It's a long tweet. But yeah, so he keeps hashtagging, talking about the New Orleans Saints. He tweets a lot.
He's a poster, I'm telling you.
He posts multiple times a day.
I
There's
don't
no
post
way
as-
that's him.
I don't post as much as the Pope
He's
does.
a hashtag general audience.
I mean, I'm sure it's not him. I'm sure he's not sitting there on his iPhone typing. He might be, but I kind of doubt it. But what do I know? Actually, he could be doing that.
The replies are interesting. Okay, let me get off his Twitter. Hope he's okay. Maybe that's what's going on happening. He's like, I keep tweeting about, people keep thinking I'm tweeting about football, and I'm just tweeting about the Saints, not the football team, and he's upset about it. That could be it.
It's all about the NFC South.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually a Falcons fan. I hope they're in the same conference. That would be embarrassing if... I'm just guessing right now. As usual. I'm always guessing on here.
It didn't change. Okay, moving on to the next one. The word inconspicuous just turned conspicuous.
Whoa.
And that is from MCK_B2.
That's crazy how that happens. This is a meta one.
Yeah, these words have always confused me.
Inconspicuous, when you read it, that's a conspicuous word.
Yes.
Like it has the formation of a word where you're like, wait a minute.
Because conspicuous means hidden and not obvious, right?
Other way around.
Whoa.
Inconspicuous is like not
Yeah.
seen,
That's what I just
not
said.
sticking out.
Huh. So I had it reversed.
'Cause
See, I
you-
told you these words always confused me.
You look at the word inconspicuous and it looks like icon, no, inconspicuous, and then it's got the UOUS. I mean, that just, when you have that going on in a word, you got 3 vowels in a row.
I honestly
That's gonna stand
kind
out.
of love it.
Oh, I like it for what it
Kind
is.
of a fun word to
but
say.
it's a funny word to be spelled and look the way that it does,
Yeah.
because it's supposed to mean not sticking out.
Yeah. See, I think I used to be good about, like, I knew the definition of inconspicuous. I was like, yeah, I get that. It makes sense. I'm familiar with the word. And then all of a sudden the word conspicuous showed up in my life, and I didn't know that we had just conspicuous as a word. I knew about inconspicuous and I was down with that, but conspicuous, I didn't know that was also a word, and so that's, I think, why I've been confused in the past few months, year.
It looks like it could be one of those words, because there's some of them where you add in and it means the same thing.
Like what?
Like what? Oh, there's a couple. I wish I would have looked these up beforehand. Can you look it up? look up number 7 or 8 of this episode. Let me try to sound really smart and think of it right before you get to it. Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say famous and infamous, but those are just different things.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm supposed to look up to find this.
Like add into a word and it means the same thing.
Yeah, I put words you add in and it has the same meaning.
There are some. Is anything showing up?
No, because it doesn't. What I typed doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
It's okay. I guess I believe you.
This is something where if I wasn't on the spot, like if I didn't have a microphone and a camera in front of me, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that one." But not the case when we have the context of this.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay, so now the word itself, inconspicuous, just turned conspicuous. Wow, that is very meta.
Like when it's typed out on the screen in front of us, inconspicuous looks very conspicuous.
Yeah, you cannot hide that word.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
Is this like just right now? Like this is like a realization that's going on?
Yeah, just did it.
That's crazy.
Wow. Keep updated for any more changes on these words.
Sandwiches will be receiving a patch next week. They'll now have an equal chance of landing on either face during assembly, fixing a long-standing exploit to gain infinite energy. In addition, cats have gained a new comedic fear. In addition to cucumbers and baths, cats will now be scared of sandwiches. How these patches will affect the power grid are quite controversial topics next week. So you know the infinite energy glitch?
No.
I think it's an old meme where if you take a cat and you take a sandwich, like one side of a sandwich that has like butter or jelly on top, and you drop it, it'll spin forever. Because the jelly or butter side of a sandwich or toast or whatever always lands face down, and a cat always lands on its feet. So it can't land, like it can't land either way. Because if the cat lands on its feet, then the sandwich has landed plain side down.
Wait. It's like the sandwich is strapped to the cat?
It's the long-standing, this is what the exploit is here, the infinite energy exploit. So you strap the sandwich to the cat.
Just one side of a sandwich.
One
like
side
an
of a sandwich
face.
that has like jelly on it or something.
It's a slice of bread with.
Yeah.
Okay, jelly. Okay.
Like a sandwich that you're gonna make a sandwich and you drop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And but instead of dropping it, you strap it to
a cat's
back. Okay.
And then you drop the whole thing.
Oh wow.
And it will not be able to land on either side. Because that would mean that the other side has landed the way that it can't.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So it spins forever.
Huh.
Kind of at an infinite rate. And that's how you get infinite energy.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
As long as you are able to harness it.
So now this is saying it will land on the sandwich because of this patch. Okay, because it's
like
got
now
the
if you strap the bread to a cat, the cat will just land on its feet.
And cats are going to be terrified if you go trying to strap the sandwich to them now anyway.
Yeah, this has been completely taken away.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we don't see power outages and stuff next week. Like, who knows if that's how everything's powered here.
Yeah. Huh.
Is that what nuclear energy is?
From sandwiches?
Sandwiches and cats, yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
That's what would make the most sense. Like, if that was kind of just the word they assigned to it. I wouldn't question it. Cats, historically, have not had a problem with sandwiches.
Not for the most part.
Like, they don't want the sandwich itself, but if the sandwich has good stuff in it, they'll go for it, from what I've seen.
Depends,
from what I've heard about.
Yeah, it depends what's on the sandwich. I recently had a cat eat my turkey sandwich.
Just, like, pulled the turkey out of it. Like,
yeah.
Like, if you're a cat and you're pulling turkey out of a sandwich, it's like, kind of like taking the top sheet off of, like, sneaking the top sheet off of a bed or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild.
Doesn't go for the bread, doesn't go for anything else, just yanks the turkey out of there.
Also, this one was from Magic Bean.
My apologies to Magic Bean 1.
Yeah.
This one's from Magic Bean 1. Sometimes I get so into it that I forget which we know we've been through
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna call you out on it, but you'd already started talking. I was like, I'll just say it in the middle. I keep getting so sunk down to the couch, trying to raise up.
Do we need to shorten the episodes to 45 minutes? Is it the last 15 minutes is when the
It's
back
been like
starts?
the last half hour. Supposedly, the Sasquatch population, they're real and there's more than one, are planning on making first contact with humans next week to discuss their political endorsement and election plan. We're not sure if this will affect anything with it being so close to the election date, but it's exciting that more creatures are taking responsibility. And that is from Nikki.
I like the concept of the Sasquatches being like the Sasquatches have been meaning to reach out to us.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those things where they're procrastinators. They don't want to seem intrusive. Like they want to let us live our lives. They've been meaning to reach out, but they've just been putting it off, and now they've put it off to the extent where now it feels like it's weird to reach back out again. Like
Yeah.
the context of them being able to reach out, like the thing that gave them the in is now gone.
Yeah, but the current election was important.
Current election
enough
is another
for-
one. We'll see if they actually follow through this time.
Yeah, they're like, we cannot stay silent on this. We have to reach out. This is the most important election of our lifetime.
We need an election that sneaks up on us. One that will make it to
Yeah,
if we
seriously.
can. I've had enough of these most important elections of our lifetime.
Yeah. This is also funny though, because I feel like when I imagine Sasquatches and where they live, I imagine they're mostly in Canada, but I guess there could be some in Montana and stuff. But I'm like, why are they caring about the election if they're Canadian? I mean, obviously it would still affect them, but like, maybe it's the American Sasquatches.
I'd hope it's the American Sasquatches, and not that there's foreign Sasquatches interfering in our domestic elections.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we do always like to see more creatures taking responsibility. So we'll see if I think we maybe read this one a little late, but we'll see if their endorsement makes a difference in how things turn out.
I think if the Sasquatches were to say something, a much larger than expected number of people would follow.
Mm-hmm.
People like their Sasquatches.
Oh my God, who are they gonna endorse?
I'm thinking about the
Probably the Green Party.
the blurry party.
Oh yeah. Well, because I was thinking, they live in nature.
I'm thinking about those episodes of like Finding Bigfoot or whatever that Discovery Channel show was.
Yeah.
And like they'd fill a room with people who were there to like hear about Bigfoot when those guys came to town.
Mm.
Like there'd be like a whole town hall meeting, and they'd bring in like the Bigfoot experts, and
Yeah.
people would have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Like if the Sasquatches were to be real and were to make a statement,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people that we wouldn't expect would
Oh,
follow. So
for
this
sure,
this
for
this is
sure.
big. Do
That
you think they're looking for like super PAC money or something? Are they looking for donations? Can the Sasquatches be bought?
probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
What would they buy? What would the Sasquatches then use their money to buy? Probably just power.
Uh-huh. Your mention of the documentaries reminded me of a movie that I watched a couple years ago, a 2018 film, The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot.
That's all the title?
That was the title.
That's crazy.
It was about a man who killed Hitler and then went and killed the Bigfoot.
Is that just the whole plot?
Mm-hmm.
What a movie.
Yeah.
Can we get a Rotten Tomatoes rating on
It
this?
was interesting.
Or an IMDb? Who's in this?
Sam Elliott, which he's like a popular guy. That guy?
I don't know if I know him, but I believe you.
Yeah. Well, he was from Roadhouse. He was in the new A Star Is Born. So, like, he's in stuff. He's in The Hulk from 2003.
Do we have a Rotten Tomatoes on that movie?
I don't know. Where am I supposed to find that?
It's usually at like the top or like some sort of rating.
IMDb gives it 5.7 out of 10.
That's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
That sounds like the rate. That's like the rating that a somewhat forgettable
It's
movie.
75% Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
That is kind of high.
Wow.
Interesting. Well, that was off topic.
And we're 5 minutes over today.
Yeah.
So we'll end it here. But we'll also be on our Patreon for an extra half hour to discuss all the things that we're afraid of.
This should be fun.
This will be a fun one.
Definitely won't cause any spirals.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Mary definitely has a lot of thoughts. This is going to be something that's going to be, like, I'm going to realize as I go.
Yeah.
We might let Mary take the lead, and we'll see.
Yeah. I'm going to sleep so well
Because I'm not scared of anything. That's a lie. That's a complete lie.
He's afraid of everyone finding out just how much he's afraid of.
Whoa. No spoilers, Mary. We're paywalling.
Cut that out.
We're paywalling this one. All right. We'll see you on there, or we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you being here.
Next week news, next week news, next week all the way.
That's supposed to be released in December.
It was just a sample clip.
Oh, well, that's just a hint of what's to come. Bye.